Hello everybody, I'm looking into the camera. I'm sitting here with a family from Ukraine. They came here almost exactly 3 weeks ago from the war. Here is Louba, Roman, Nadia, Emily, Milana. So thank you, Stefan. So we're supposed to start with you actually coming from Ukraine to here. Who of you wants to?
I will tell. I will tell the story.
Yeah.
So on the 24th of February, we woke up because of the noise of explosions. And the same day at the evening, we were talking about the situation, and there were rumors that they will start bombing the city again during the night hours. And we decided to leave our home. We were living near the city, and we decided to leave early in the morning on the 25th. So we packed some clothing because we just took the things that we could carry in our hands, Nadia and Louba, because I was not supposed to cross the border because it was forbidden for men to leave the country. So they took some clothes, and in the morning at 5 a.m. we got up and we heard again the noise of explosions. So we sat in the car and we left. We were near at the Polish border the same day at evening at 10 p.m. We came to Lviv, and we decided to stay overnight because I was very tired along the journey. So in the morning, the next day, when we woke up, we found out that our president, he allowed men who have 3 children under 18, they can cross the border. So we were happy, and at the same time we were thinking how we'll leave everything, because the plan was that I will be back, but now I left. So we opened the map and we were checking the lines to the Polish border, and the lines were huge. Like our friends, they went to the Polish border the evening before and they stand in the line, and it was 20 kilometers long, and the next morning it was more than 30 kilometers. So we started to think where else we can go, to which border. So we decided to take the most inconvenient route to Hungary, and we went to the south, and then we crossed Hungarian border in 12 hours, which was pretty fast, because the line there when we arrived was only 1 kilometer. So on Sunday, so we left on Friday, and on Sunday we crossed the border and we were in Hungary. And it took us 10 days from that point to get to Sweden. And along the way, we stayed in Budapest, then in Brno, in Czech Republic, then in Germany, near Hamburg, and then we came here. And along the way, we met people we have never met before. We didn't know each other, but we get a lot of help from them. They helped us a lot. And it was really amazing to see how people want to help. When we crossed the ferry, we took the ferry from Germany to Denmark, and in Denmark they checked us. They stopped us at the checkpoint because they saw the Ukrainian plates, and the lady, she was checking the passports, and then she looked in the car and she saw that we have 4 people on the back seats, and there were no seat belts on the children and Nadia. And she asked, why don't you use seat belts? And we said, it's an old car, we don't have seat belts at the back seats. And along the way also, our car was twice at the service, and people who fixed it, they didn't take any money from us. They wanted to help us. So finally, after 10 days, we arrived to Richard and Maria's place, and we also didn't know each other before, which is really amazing. Like, now almost 3 weeks we are living here, and personally I feel like we've been friends for all life. Sometimes you don't get that kind of understanding and that kind of help from your relatives, as we experienced from the people we didn't know.
It's amazing, and we have been talking before the interview about because you also have a belief in something higher. That kind of makes it stronger.
Yeah,
I mean, because Richard and his wife also have a strong belief.
Yeah.
And amazing of you to help them. And this. I'm glad to hear about all the help you got during the way. I mean, and we're going to go in a little to that later. But I mean, now you're here. You're a family of 5 and your sister, so it's 6. But I know that you have been starting to get into the society.
Yeah. Yeah, we met a very kind person. She's also osteopath. Her name is Ruth. And she also has an open heart to help, and she invited me to come to her clinic. And I don't have my own practice now in her clinic, but it depends of a lot of things, not only of her. But now I can go there to have internship there with her patients. So yeah, it's very also very pleasant. Very pleasant to see how people are open here to help. I hope so that sometime I could also have my practice, osteopath practice again. To be in society, to be useful for people, to treat them.
But can you let us know about the situation? I mean, we're gonna go into the bigger situation later, but you just left your home.
Yeah.
And just from one day to another. I mean, and I heard that you had almost no personal things with you, because you didn't even expect to be able to come here. But and how does all this make you? I mean, I know it's so big, but I mean it's also we have feelings and I mean, it's not a small thing to leave your country and your home and your safety, and so your safety net. And
well, at the very beginning, we didn't think that it will like be for so long time. We wondered probably we will stay somewhere in Poland for 1 or 2 weeks, and we will return to our home. But now we see that we could not come back now, and probably we could not because like what will be there in a few months or in half year, on how long it will be there, we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. When you think that it's already 1 month, it's 24. It started. And like your mind understand that it's 1 month when it started, but in the other way, it looks that it's only 2 weeks. You know, like the time is just so slowly. Like you cannot believe that you left your home for 1 month already, and nobody knows when it will be finished, because it can be. Sometimes better situation, sometimes worse day in Ukraine, but it's very difficult to understand that you maybe will not visit your motherland and your city and like your own place. Like, nobody knows when we can back there, and could we back there or we couldn't back there. Nobody knows. So far our place they safe, but who knows what will be in future. Yeah, for me it's difficult. For me it's difficult. When you understand that you are not going on trip to Europe, it's different. Like you came here and you need to.
And the future is like a blank paper. You don't know.
You don't know. You don't know nothing. Like it's other country, other rule, and other mentality. You know, it's absolutely everything is different.
And I mean, it's not exactly like you planned this. It's different if you move to another country and you planned.
Yes.
But I mean, you just left.
Yeah, the difficult part.
You didn't know what to expect.
That we didn't plan that.
No.
Like if I stayed there, still we had some connection, because we would be talking to each other via some messenger, and we would see each other, and I would show and tell that everything is fine with the home. We had ducks and chickens and cat and dog there. And a lot of work was done around the house. It's a rural area, and a lot of flowers planted, trees, bushes, you know. We had a garden. So yeah, it was a lot of work done. And it was really unexpected to realize that you're not gonna go back, and you have to think now how to cope with everything that you left without preparation, like with all these animals and with things, because I thought maybe 2 or 3 days and I'll be back at home. So yeah, we were happy to have the opportunity to go all together, but on the other side it was like, what we're gonna do now with everything.
And we have a map, a little like piece of map in our kitchen room here. And yesterday in the evening we were sitting and Emily asked, where's our home on that map? And Roma found Midistorp, the lake Midistorp here, Emily here. Emily, no, it's not our home. I mean our home in Ukraine. Like for Emily, for kids, our home is there. And she's wondering when we will come back there. I want to go to our home. And like, yeah, in her mind, it's not our home. We don't have such lake there. Yeah, Emily wants to go home.
And since her birthday will be soon, and she wondered how my friends could visit my birthday party. How I want to invite so many people. And
from
kindergarten. And she think, how could I invite them? How will be my birthday party? Yeah?
So the situation is, it's so complex already, but when you have kids, it's more feelings, it's more complex, because I mean, as an adult, you just deal with your own emotions, and you can, and you know, I mean, okay, but I can save that to later. But with kids, it's like instant, and
yeah, they couldn't understand why we visit so many different people.
no,
From Ukraine till
When we go home, not soon, we will have to meet a lot of new people and visit a lot of new places. That's what we were telling them along the way.
But probably we wouldn't leave Ukraine if we don't have children. As for me, I think I will stay. I would stay at home. Yeah, but it was like we were caring more not about ourselves but about kids.
But that's also the thing. I mean, I also have 3 kids. In almost exactly the same age. 9, 6, 3. Yeah. And it's amazing the efforts you actually, uppoffringar, sacrifice you are willing to do when you have kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a decision like it's better to go to a safe place, and then you can always come back. Hopefully you can come back.
Yeah.
But it's better to be further from what's going on in those areas.
And now we are all like yesterday or tomorrow morning. This morning, I mean, I asked husband, like, did we do all right way? Probably we should stay at home. And then, like, we were thinking that our region is nearby Kiev region, so we don't know, like, if the Russian army like could go not from Chernihiv, for example, or like, I mean, the Sumy or Kharkiv, they are damaged. Yeah, they are damaged, and probably Mariupol. Yeah, and if they would go not from Kharkiv but from Zhytomyr region, because we are near Belarusian border. So if he would choose, if they would choose to come from Zhytomyr, like, we would have the same situation like Mariupol or Sumy or Kharkiv. But now they are going to Kiev from another side. But who knows what will be in the future? Maybe they also will go through Zhytomyr.
Okay, so now we're like intensifying the interview. I mean, it's fantastic to have the kids, but it's as a mother, I have a little, vad ska man säga, problem with totally focus on everything. So no, now
distractions.
So now I can totally like focus on you.
Okay.
I mean, it's fantastic with the kids. We all, I mean, the thing is, I mean, this is situation in the world. I mean, it's terrible, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. That you need to like run away from your home. It breaks my heart. I mean, and probably yours, like over and over. But you were telling about the situation here when you had Stefan in the yeah. But can you tell us a little about you talked about Kiev and because a lot of I mean, we don't know the whole situation, especially not from the inside.
Yeah. Like there was 24th of February they began to bomb like a few regions, and our region was also in the first cities which were bombing, like because we had a military staff like in our region, and not far from like our village we lived, and not far from city like Zhytomyr, the main city of region. So yeah, and they bombed Zhytomyr, Kharkiv, Sumy, Kiev, and what else in the first day? In the first day, yes, and probably Chernihiv and Mariupol. So now Kharkiv is like Kharkiv, Sumy, and Mariupol is damaged all. Like in Mariupol, no one building staying. They just
not just staying, but not damaged.
Not
no
damaged.
No one house.
They destroyed all the buildings in the city.
Okay, so it's like
90%.
It's leveled.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have any shop there. Like they don't have gas, they don't have electricity, they don't have food, don't have water, and they are bombing and till nowadays, like just bombing. They don't have nothing there, but they bombing. Sumy the same, Kharkiv the same, and Zhytomyr was the first. Also in that list, in that list of cities as well, and we are near of Kiev. We are like Kiev region and Zhytomyr region here, and Zhytomyr also near Belarus. So at the very beginning, Russian soldiers had an education on Belarus border with Ukraine. So and we thought like that they will come from Belarus through Zhytomyr to come to Kiev. So we were afraid that Zhytomyr will be under bombing all the way of the days. But we lived before that cities were damaged. We lived Ukraine. So yeah, and now I just think that probably we could be also such destroyed as Sumy or Kharkiv. Like we didn't know it then. Like now, yeah, now it was bombing a few days. They bombed some civil houses. They bombed hospital. They bombed school in Zhytomyr, and then bombed I think every military buildings in Zhytomyr and Zhytomyr region, power station.
And in Zhytomyr area they continue to bomb.
And nowadays they continue to bomb Zhytomyr region that closer to Kiev, like border Zhytomyr region, which is bordering with Kiev region. So yeah. But
no, and they actually try to bomb Zhytomyr as well. But since we have, I don't know how it's in English, PVO, this
anti-air strikes,
like the special weapon, what Ukrainian military they can watch that it's like rocket goes to city and they can. Counter-attack this rocket, you know. So it's happening each day. This our mayor, they have this report, and they like, for example, last night they said that. Last night he said that this rocket bombed somewhere in Zhytomyr, but they try to counter. You know, when this rocket go, they counter this rocket in Zhytomyr city. But when it's Zhytomyr area, more far from Zhytomyr, from center, from city, it's much more easy for Russian to bomb it because this weapon, anti-weapon, it's not enough for all, you know, all villages. Yeah, so they continue to do it, and they continue to do it, to kill Ukrainian people, насилуют женщин. Хорошо. And they continue to lie on their Federation channel in Russia. They showed Mariupol, they showed picture of Mariupol, and they said, what made Ukrainian Nazis when they step far from city, when they run away from city, and they understand that Mariupol will be not Ukraine anymore, and these Ukrainian Nazis, they shoot their houses with people. That's what Russian channels show on their Federation channels. But it's just, I don't know, like sometimes I cannot just believe that it's really happening, you know. And we definitely know how they bombed it, how Russian bombed Mariupol. and killing people and killing kids and I don't know, women. And
do you know how many people who have been killed?
Ukrainian?
Yeah, do you know any numbers? No.
They don't say, they just say about kids. A few days ago it was 117 kids were killed.
It's very difficult to count because in these hot spots like Mariupol, Mykolaiv, Kharkiv, but in these hot spots, Ukrainians are not there. Like it's difficult to count how many people because a lot of buildings then just damaged and a lot of people under these buildings, and they die under buildings. You know, maybe someone alive, but it's very difficult to up them from this backstage, underground. You know, it's difficult to understand how much people there.
You said something about that if it haven't been for the kids, you wouldn't have left Ukraine.
Yeah.
Do you all agree with that?
I agree. I didn't want to go. We had our own house. We had our own land. We had rye, 2 tons of rye. We had food, and in my opinion, we were not on the way, even if they crossed the Belarusian border to Ukraine and were going to Kiev, we were not on their way. So the only thing that could happen is someone will just push the buttons and they will attack any point without any precision, and then we could be damaged, or like by mistake maybe. So I didn't want to go at all, but we decided that I will just pick them up to the border and they will go and I will go home.
And this you did for your kids.
Yeah.
But here you are, all the 6 of you now, and I mean you are one man in this, and from the beginning you weren't supposed to be able to come.
Yeah. So yeah, it's changed a lot while we were on the way, because as I mentioned, the next morning when we arrived to the border, we stayed overnight in Lviv. In the morning we woke up and we saw this a new order was issued by the president, and I could come. And also we realized that this is not like, because the first day we were thinking this is maybe just like one day event, you know, as Putin was saying that this is a military operation, we will just bomb some points and that's it. So, and while one day passed and then the next day passed, we saw that this is not one day event, and they continue to bomb and they push harder and harder from different points. So it made sense to leave the country, and since I could go with them, of course I didn't want to leave them without me somewhere in Poland or whatever.
Yeah, and because we don't have a driver license.
Yeah, they didn't have a car, they cannot drive, they go to another country with 3 children, so why I should let them and go home? There's no reason for that.
I mean, of course you should be with your family.
Yeah.
I mean, a family is a family, and yeah, but we have a very, I'm gonna go into that anyway. I mean, we have another situation now, this time, and from 2015, when at least in Sweden, mostly young men arrived without women, without children, and now the situation is different. Now it's women and children, and no husbands. But I mean, you're an exception. But so it's
But young men, they arrived from Ukraine?
No, from Afghanistan. So I was just talking about Sweden. And we had the situation in 2015 here in Sweden, where the situation was the opposite. A lot of young men arrived without the women. I mean, and for me, it's the women and the children that you save first.
Yeah, and for us it was like a big miracle that Roman.
All the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. You're supposed to be with your family.
We have a lot of friends that they want to leave, but they don't because they cannot go together. So that's why they stay. Otherwise, if they could, they would left.
But that's how it is with family. You wanna stay connected.
Yeah.
And it's a very strong thing.
That's because we have 3 children.
Yeah.
And children are blessings for us especially.
And some friends joking, like father joking for husband joke, like their friends who has 2 kids. And husband joke, I asked you for 3rd kid, you didn't want. Now
I told you, we need a 3rd child.
Yeah, so I mean, you're blessed to have 3 kids.
Yeah.
It's the blessing with kids, but it's just it shouldn't be like this. This conversation shouldn't even exist, but now it does, and I really want to go into what because in 2014 in Ukraine there was, it's like the startup for something. I mean, can you tell us with your words how from your point of view what happened?
Yeah.
In 2014, like when it started on East, we actually
it started in Kiev in my
24 of February.
No. 2014. Yeah.
It was a revolution, then annexation.
Yeah, when it started in Donetsk and Lugansk area. Do you mean this?
No, it was not in. At first, it was on Maidan. Like the official version is that we had the president Yanukovych who like had more motivation to be with Russian and Belarusian and the East, and another side who wanted to be with Europe. Europe Union, and like the young people, they went out to a square like called Maidan Square in Kiev, and they like were showing they're willing to be with Europe, not with Russian. And then military, they just went to that students, that young people, and they поразогнали их.
They dispersed the crowd.
And some of them were in prison, prisons. So and after that it was like a movement for all Ukraine to protect a way that we want to be with Europe, and from all the country people moved to Kiev, to that Maidan, to to say that we want to protect our willing to be with Europe, and that we are not support how you did with that young people, with that students. And that was the first beginning, and then it grown into big revolution with shooting, with killing. And then it was in Crimea that Russian people just came there, and it was an action in Crimea. But actually we don't know like this is an official version. What it was there, like Roman has another point of view. Yeah. Like,
Not popular one.
So, and what is your opinion? Because I mean, one of the things I'm actually trying to do is that let the different opinions speak.
Yeah, no, has not
so
mainstream.
Yeah, it's like I would say totally opposite. Even though I was living all my life in Ukraine, I always were thinking that there is someone or some group of people who rule our country. Then, when I grew up, I found out that there are actually groups that are higher than governments, and they are basically hiring people. We call them presidents, and they make the stage. We call them elections, and this is made for the people. It's like a theater made for the people when people think that they elect someone. But even though I'm young, I noticed that after every election, when people elect whomever they wanted, they don't like him. Half year passed, they don't like him. And they wait for years for another one. Then another one comes. And half year, they don't like him. And it's circled, never ends. When I started to think, something should be wrong here. So, and when this thing, a revolution started to happen in Ukraine, it was like Yanukovych, he was from the eastern part of Ukraine, and he tended to be with Russia, like to make politics with Russia, to make deals with Russia. So, and probably some people, they didn't like that, or they had another plans. So they started to stir up people, especially young people, students, to go out and to speak that they don't want to be with Russians, they want to be with US, because US is a democracy. They promised once we will show our will, Europe will let us in very fast. They will let us in. We will have free borders with Europe. We will have free trade. We will have all the benefits of European Union. That's how they showed it to the people. Of course, it sounded pretty well. So people ran to the streets and they started to speak that we don't want Yanukovych, we want to be with Europe. So Yanukovych fled and they chose another one. But it didn't happen. All the promises, as usually, they never keep their promises. So, and after that, I was really then thinking maybe something will change. Maybe, because at the beginning I watched a lot of news and it seemed like very natural. But then I started to see some people who were at the head and they were ruling all these crowds. And some things, they are minor things, but they make a chain. When you follow the chain, you start to see that this is not natural. All this what was made by the hands of different people who wanted to achieve their goals. Once the goals were achieved, regular people left without nothing. Some of them were killed, some of them were maybe damaged, and after that, the entire country had a loss because the prices were higher, and we were not accepted to European Union. So, and since then, I think they started to escalate this enmity between two countries, between Ukraine and Russia. And now is the result of these 8 years past.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but the main reason why Russian came in Ukraine on our eastern part, Donetsk and Lugansk, is to protect Russian-speaking people. Like they said that they are not allowed in Ukraine to speak Russian, but it false because false, yeah, it's like
Fake.
It's not true.
It's not true because we all our life we spoke Russian, not Ukraine, like because it was the Soviet Union and all our parents they were born and grown, and we were born also in Soviet Union, like yeah. So they came into our eastern part and. It was like not called like a war, but anti-terrorist operation, like to protect. And but all these 8 years, it was a very напряженная ситуация.
A hard situation.
Hard situation between Russian and Ukraine. Like almost all Ukrainians, they hate Russians, and Russians hate Ukrainians.
But not Russians. It's not true. Hate Russians.
But Russia. Not maybe not Russians, not people, but
They
Russia.
politics, like this politics who choose to do it, but not like we didn't have like hating.
We don't have. But I think that other people.
Can we,
have.
if we go back to what you talked about, because you don't have the same opinion as your husband.
Yeah.
No.
We are like.
No. But what? Now we have. It's a helicopter, but you two are still married. and I want to bring that in to the bigger part of as I mean it is possible to have different views without getting a divorce, or I mean it would be able to live in a country or in a world with different views and I mean we don't I think that's called to be a human. I mean, I have my opinion, and somehow we're able to agree anyway, and we should be able to live together or work together, and just without war.
Yeah.
And so I mean, in a way, you make a perfect example of that unity without different opinions is possible.
Politicity is not the reason to destroy your family. Politicians.
No, and I
not
mean,
reason.
and different point of views. And I mean, but we have a situation in the world now where things are like. I mean, it's way out of hand, and but if we lived in the, I mean, now in Ukraine, most people and from most of the world are very, very angry at Russia, and what went wrong and when?
Я не поняла. Что пошло не так и когда, почему?
Смерть на Россию, что произошло, когда это, ну, почему так произошло и когда это начало происходить? Ну, вот типа вопрос. But we have, I think, again, different opinions, so yeah, like maybe each one of us can speak.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fantastic. I mean, because that's how it's. So if you start your point of view on this question.
I think that the main problem is propaganda, because like propaganda works as in Ukraine as in Russian as well, and the main reason that people usually believe what mass media talks to them. So I think that Russian people, they truly believe that Ukrainians almost all are fascists, Nazists, and they wear swastika and like, yeah. all of us, we are very bad people and we are killing kids and all that, what they are propaganda to Russian people. And as Putin has an influence, like for that people, and they, like he as some kind of dictator, because they don't allow to have another opinion, another point of view. So Putin just can have some picture in his mind, what he wants to do through the hands of other people. So I think that I don't know why, but he wants to destroy Ukraine. Maybe he like also как-то ненавидит? Hate Ukraine or Ukrainians, I don't know exactly, but as I see now, it's not just the war, just a total destroying of our country and killing like people. We don't have a lot of people in Ukraine, like a lot of them are just moving to Europe, to United States, somewhere, so we didn't have a lot of, but now I can't even imagine how to collect them back if the war will ending, and how to, again to have a nation like a lot of thousands or millions people will be killed. It's like a genocide of Ukrainian people, but I don't know what might be in his head to just to kill a civil people. Maybe hating, I don't know. Roman?
Well, I liked one question. I heard it, I don't remember who said it, but I heard it since this pandemic started. And of course, we were all thinking what's going on and why all this happening. So I remember this question, and I think it's a very good question to ask all the time, especially in times like this and the crisis in Ukraine. Who benefits? So when you ask this question, who benefits of what is going on? It's easier to understand than who is interested in what is happening. And then when you realize who is behind it, you can easily understand why is it going on and what will be the result. So, as I said, I think there are people who are above countries and they are above presidents. They may have different names. Some call them global elites, some call them the masters of money. It doesn't matter. So, for me, both sides in any war, they are manipulated by the same group. History proves it. Like, if we take the World War I, World War II, it was all the same. So I think it's not, it is not different now. So, of course, on the surface, I can understand both sides. When I listen to Putin, it makes sense. When I listen to Zelensky and to what Ukraine is trying to do, it makes sense. But it is always the case with any conflict. If you listen to one party, then you listen to another, you can see that both make sense. But they have a different angle of view on the situation. But I think that there is propaganda on both sides, but for some reason they need all the world to hate Russia. I don't know exactly what is the goal, maybe to destroy it or to dismantle it to different parts, I don't know. But there is certainly, this is the agenda, not the Ukraine, not to help Ukrainians or to allow them to be a part of NATO or European Union or to support them. It's not about Ukraine and not about Ukrainians. It's about Russians. And so the agenda, I think, is about Russia and Russian country. So I think it works for the bad of Russians. Of course, there are people dying in Ukraine. Of course, there is something happening, but this is a bad situation for Russia as well. That's how I think what's going on now.
Nadia?
I would say, like, for example, my opinion, like, since I never felt that I don't like Russians, for example. I understand that it's other people, and I always had respect into them. But now, when 90% of Russian people agree, like civil people, agree with what is going on in Ukraine, I understand that in my heart, my love to this civil people ending, because I understand that it's propaganda. I do understand it, what Louba said, that in their TV always showing how Ukrainians are bad and everything in very different side. But it is a lot of moments when people try to explain to just regular civil people in Russia what is going on. But they still say that Ukrainians deserve it. Ukrainians, just regular old people, like, what can be very nice that she is smiling, but their opinion that Ukrainian people deserve to be killed, to have so many problems, to have so many tears. Mm-hmm. They think that we deserve it, and when people try to explain, just kids, it was situation that kids die because of no water, not bombing, but because of no water. And when it's try to explain to them, they don't have love for just people, you know. So yeah, like for example, my loving ending, because I understand it's not only one Putin. It became like just their heart of this nation. They hate Ukrainians. For what? Why? Why? We didn't do nothing bad to them, you know. And yeah, for me, that's how I see, like. And it was, for example, we have uncle in Russia, cousin, uncle, I don't know how it will be in English. And he called to his brother, to our own uncle, and he said, you Ukrainians deserve it. Like, you need to be killed, you need to be destroyed. It's good that what is going on in your country. It's good. And my friend, she has also relatives in Russia, and she tried to explain to them, like, Russian bombed Ukrainian, and then in Russia they try to change her thinking, and she said, no, you just don't understand. We are going to save you, Ukraine. Like, we are going to save you. We want to give you freedom. We want to make your life better. You don't understand nothing what is going on. We are Russians, we are good, but your president, your ministries, they are bad. And like, for me, in my head, it's just something very crazy. Like, but because of propaganda, I agree, because Russian propaganda. That is my view.
And still we are sitting here. I mean, you're from the same family, same country.
Then after interview, we have fighting.
but at least for now, I can say that you're all calm, and I mean, okay, men we're still here. But we still have. I mean, you are not fighting here, and you.
We have already done it.
yeah, but I mean,
3 times.
Like I said, you're still married, and you're still with them, and I mean, and this is a part of life. But I also want to bring in that this This is
It's because, you know, we have deeper values. We have a deeper ground between us. It's our faith and our relationships with the Creator. This is the most important. And all these, it's just opinions. You know, it's just opinion. Your opinion is this one. You have this experience. I have this experience. It's totally fine to have different opinions because we have different experiences.
Yeah.
So
that's life, and it's supposed to be like that. I mean, we're trying. This is what we are doing here now is trying to give people a picture of a very ugly and bad situation. But even though you're from the same place, you have totally different way of seeing it. I mean, but if we like kind of put this together, and I want to ask you, and maybe we need to ask the three of you again. I mean, what is the solution on this situation?
We do.
She already knows the solution.
We start with you then. I heard you. But what do you think? I mean, from your heart. What is the solution?
That is it.
No, I just joked.
Agent 008. This agent 008, not 7 and 8. And Nadia wants to.
No, actually, I don't like. I understand that. No, it's no. You know, it's no view in my mind how it can be решено. Как это? Because fixed. Because.
Solved.
Yeah, since I don't believe for 100% for как это, во что ты там веришь?
Higher groups of people whom I was talking about.
I don't believe like for 100%, but if to see the situation, I don't know like how it can be solved, because each time when Ukrainian side and Russian side they gather together to discuss it, you know, Russia give their requirements to do this and that, and then we will stop shooting you. And Ukrainian side they give their list, you know, and it's absolutely different. For example, they say you should to agree that Ukrainian, like that Crimea is Russian, for example, Donetsk and Lugansk it will be Russian. You Ukrainian, you need to be agree with this. And in Ukrainian list they say Crimea is Ukrainian, Lugansk, Donetsk is Ukrainian. And each time, for example, each time they gather together they have this list. And Russia will not step back, and Ukrainian they also will not step back. So I don't know. Maybe when Russian soldiers they just end, maybe because like how Ukrainian эти, которые управляют этой армией, Арестович, глава этого.
The chief
of army. No. The chief of army. How they said that. From like it's 30% of all army of Russia is already damaged. 30% is already damaged. You know, I don't know. Maybe if all of them or 90% of all of them will be destroyed, Russian army, maybe then it's going to stop. I don't know. Or maybe economic of Russia will be destroyed so much that they just couldn't to support this war anymore. But like I think that as much as it's possible, Russia they will continue to do not active war against of Ukraine, but passive. Like it will be bombing sometimes all the time. How it was 80 years in Lugansk and Donetsk in east of my country. During 80 years, even when they said that it will be calm time and no bombing, they continue bomb. So I think maybe it will be just a passive. I don't know.
So you can't really like see a solution.
No, so far I don't see it.
No. And you, Roman?
I would say stop watching mainstream news. Yeah. Actually, a lot of people, they see a solution like if something happened to Putin as happened to John Kennedy. But actually, it will be solved once the goals are achieved. So for us, we don't know when, because we don't know all the goals. Once they will achieve the goals, it will be solved. But anyway, the course will not change. Like, maybe the conflict in this area will be put to end, but the course of the society as a general, it will not end. So the solution, because there are always suffering, there are always wars in the world, there are always people dying, someone is shooting and someone is killed. So the only solution that I see is maybe it's a bit more into my faith, but when there will be a new kingdom, heavenly kingdom on earth, then there will be no wars, there will be no groups of people with their own goals, and they would be willing to sacrifice other people's lives to achieve those goals. So, I don't know. We will see once it stops, and then the goals are achieved. Then it's the solution.
But you can also say that there is maybe a possibility of a more like heavenly solution.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the final one.
Yeah.
The final one.
Yeah. And what do you think?
Unfortunately, I also don't have a solution for now, but as for me, as for mother, I would like children don't die there, not from Ukraine, not from Russian, because Russian soldiers, they are also children, like 18, 19 years old. It's like they are children. So probably most of them, they don't realize what is going on. Like they are not generals, they're just soldiers, simple ones. And I would like not Ukrainian children, not Russian children die, and no women die. So just to move a civil people somewhere in safe place, and the military, the soldiers, they can fight on east, who is more powerful, but not children, not women die underground without water, without warmth, without food.
Yeah, this is such a heavy topic, but I want to bring in the faith again, because I mean something brought you here. I mean, there was like this. In one way, I mean, even if it was hard, in one way it was easy to like come here.
Yeah.
So home to Rickard and Maria, and one part of that is the faith, and on a personal level, I mean, can you still feel faith?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say even more than we felt it back there. It becomes stronger once you don't have stuff to rely on. When you're in your comfort zone, and when you have everything, and you feel that you can rely on your money or on your relations or your connections, why do you need faith? But faith comes in when you don't have all of that, and then it grows. So as we were speaking from the first day we arrived here, we were saying that we don't have anything, but at the same time we have everything. Like really, like we left everything at home, but we have a place to live. We have a nice place to sleep. We have good food. We have good friends. Even some minor things that we need, they are provided. So it's really an interesting experience.
I think it's very difficult to people who doesn't have faith in heart. I think it's just, if you imagine that you don't believe that God exists, our Heavenly Father, and what is going on now, it's just, you can be just only in depression because your home can be just ruined, you know, and you don't see a perspective. But when you understand that Heavenly Father, He not manage this, but He see this, what is happening with your life and with Ukraine and with all world. And if you trust to Him, you understand, if you love Him, that everything will be for good for you. And this trip, when we decide in few hours that we will leave Ukraine and came here, if it will be in peaceful time, I would say no, it's impossible. 2018.
And it would be impossible.
Huh?
It would be impossible.
Yeah, you just cannot. You cannot believe that you on this car 2008, almost
2,800 kilometers. Yeah.
and you will drive in this car from Ukraine to Sweden.
Yeah,
no.
From the beginning you weren't even allowed to come, and I mean now you're here. The whole family.
Yeah. So if it's only trust in God and you understand that your life in His hand.
All the borders are open, all the ferries, all the toll roads are for free. Like
without
all
vaccination
the people,
checking.
Yeah, no vaccination
testing,
checks.
Nothing.
It's like, wow. When we were in Ukraine, we could barely think that we will be able to leave Ukraine sometime in the future, maybe for vacation or to visit some friends, you know. And suddenly we are going to Sweden. We had no plans to go there. We didn't think we ever can go there because of all the borders checks and all of these rules and, you know, all this thing with COVID. But now we are here. It's really a miracle for us.
So we know that God's plan for our family was to leave Ukraine because all doors were opened.
Yeah.
And to be here.
Still we feel that we are led. We are led by our Heavenly Father.
Yes. And our friend Vitaly from Norway, once he said, one point, he said that when you will feel peace in your heart, then it's place where you must be. And for example, me, I feel peace here, you know, even what is going on somewhere, but I still have peace here in this.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, what a journey. And now you're here.
Yeah.
So God bless you.
Tack så mycket.